Hey guys, sometimes you meet someone, you start dating. Everything looks perfect on the outside, but the little things that starts making you question everything. Hello, my beautiful. I hope you're doing okay. I am not doing so great. I've been battling that cold. It just doesn't want to let me go. But here I am again, and I welcome you back to another episode of What Would You Do Story with Makeup. If you're new to this channel, on Fridays, I tell you about outlandish stories that I stumble upon while doing my makeup. I have a lot to say today. The story is very spicy. So grab your makeup or your popcorn, and without further ado, let's jump right in. Today's story title is Love on Credit. In Abidjan, everybody knew Bintou Sissoko. She was one of the most successful women in Ivory Coast. She was head of HR in one of the biggest construction company of the country. She was living a luxurious life. She was driving very nice cars. She was living in the nicest part of town, in the nicest apartment, and she was also part of Abidjan elite circle. She was single, but that it didn't bother her. But you know, African families, they can't see their daughters, successful daughters, there and just let that go. Every family meeting was coming with the same song. Bintou, when are you getting married? We need to see a man in your life. We need to have grandbabies. Her parents wanted to see her married with someone that is up her standards. They made it a mission to introduce her to very powerful men, minister nephews, president nephews, doctors, engineers, I mean, you name it. But Bintou wanted to meet love. She wanted to find love, real love that she was going to be choosing. Then she met Driss. Driss was a tall, handsome, calm guy that just came back from Canada with a bachelor degree in business. Driss came back to Abidjan for a vacation. At least that's what he said to her. They met through mutual friends. One drink turned into two, and two laughs turned into long conversations. Driss knew how to talk. Her family thought something was fishy about him. He hyped her, and she fell hard, to the point where she stood her ground against her family. They were warning her about him, but for the first time, she was like, nope, he is my choice. And for the first time, they backed off. What Bintou did not know was that Driss was not in this for her heart. Instead, he liked her for her connection, her network, and her money. Pretty soon, Bintou found herself paying for all the trips, their weekend getaway, their dates. And whenever her family was asking them how their couple was doing, Driss was always the first one jumping in the conversation and letting them know that he was the one taking care of her woman. Bintou was skeptical about that, but because love made her blind, she ignored it. When Driss needed a job, Bintou was able to pull strings and secure an accounting job for him. He was now making good money and started to build more confidence. He was starting to dress differently. He joined the elite circle of Abidjan. The things a woman in love can do is beyond. She's ready to pull the men she loves to the top, no matter what it takes. You would say things were perfect between the two of them. Well, apart the fact that Bintou was paying for everything, even though now Driss had a job, but she was taking care of everything, pretty much. So except that, everything was great, you would say, right? Let's end the story right here. Well, sorry to bust your bubble. Nope. Something's gonna happen, and you know what? One day, there's always one day, Driss was taking a shower while his phone rang, and Bintou was there. So what more natural for her to pick it up? It's her boyfriend after all, right? So she picks up the phone and hears a soft and familiar voice of another woman. Bintou picks up the phone, right? She picks up the phone and she doesn't say anything. She's just like keeping quiet. And she hears, baby, I love seeing you earlier today. I hope we're going to see each other tomorrow again. Excuse you? As soon as she hears those words, she doesn't say anything. She just hangs up. She did not scream. She did not do anything. She just stood there. And then it occurred to her. She noted the phone number and she was going to research that lady later. When Driss came out of the bathroom, he noticed that he had received a phone call, and that phone call was answered. The eyes met. He knew she had picked up the phone, but nothing was said, so they just left it at that. The next few days, he came home very excited, talking to her about a one in a lifetime opportunity to start a very profitable business. But he needed her to lend her about 20 million of West African francs. Taken by love, Bintou immediately said yes. After a while, she thought to herself that
Rokia is her
maybe
best
I should
friend.
talk to Rokia about it and see what Rokia thinks after what had happened few nights prior. So she meets Rokia and tells Rokia about the whole story, what had happened a few nights prior, and also about Driss asking her to lend her money. Rokia is like, I don't like this one bit. What I would do if I were you is I wouldn't even give him the money, but if you really insist of giving him the money because you love him, sure, I'll just give him maybe half or even a quarter and tell him that you can't get any more and see what he's gonna do with the money. Bintou decided to listen to her friend's advice and just send a quarter of the requested amount to Driss. It wasn't over for Rukia. She wanted to get to the bottom of it. For her, Bintou was too soft. So Rukia activated her detective mode. It was easy for her to find the woman because Miriam, Driss' mistress, or what I call her mistress, I guess, second chick. And she did find her. Her name was Miriam. Miriam was a hustler. She was in the clothing business. She had a shop. So it was easy for Rukia to find her on Instagram. When she did, Rukia befriended Miriam. Miriam was a talker. She liked to tell everybody about how her man treats her right, how he built her this, how he built her that, and they were getting married soon. She even invited Rukia to the wedding. Once she learned that, Rukia immediately went to see Bintou to tell her about her findings, and they both decided to attend the wedding. Then the day of the wedding arrives. They both, Bintou and Rukia, go to the venue. It was a beautiful venue. People were dressed up like in the big African weddings. People dress always to kill. Then comes the groom. It's indeed Driss. Bintou was just standing there. She couldn't believe her eyes. So the man she helped rise in society is getting married to another woman. And he was using the money that she sent him to marry the other woman. Make sense of that? Ah, man. You are evil. You are evil. So this is the story of Bintou and Driss. Tell me what you would have done in that kind of situation. If you were Bintou, would you have confronted Driss right on the spot? Or walk away silently and let karma handle it? This is also the final look. I hope you like it. And if you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. For now, I tell you, I love you. Make sure you pick the right partner in life for yourself, or protect your heart when it comes to love. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.